Hey everyone, it's Mari. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I have a project for the Just Nick digital cut file design team, and we are focusing over on the blog this week on Word cut files. And so the Word cut file that I chose to work with from the Just Nick shop today is the Word cut file titled Grateful. And I really love this cut file because it's really going to be a neat option for creating a large title piece. And that's exactly what I was going for here. So I've cut my cut file out of some heavy white cardstock, and I cut it at about 7 inches long by 1¼ inches tall. And then what I wanted to do was just glue that to some really bright patterned paper. And so I'm going to be using the Pink Fresh Studio Out and About collection, which is just a gorgeous collection. I love it. It's kind of like a travel theme, or like being a touristy theme. And that was perfect for the photograph that I wanted to scrap today. This is a photo of my son and I on a recent trip that I took out to Ontario to visit him during the Easter break. And I printed this photo at 4x3 in black and white, and then I just took it and I matted the photo just in a really simple single layer mat with some pattern paper from that same 6x6 pattern paper pad that I used to back my Grateful title piece. So once I had the cut file backed onto that patterned paper, I just fussy cut around the letters, and then that's going to create that really cool title piece for underneath my photograph. And then of course, now I've got that photo all matted in that pattern paper. I decided that I wanted to add a strip of paper to the top third of the layout. So this layout you can see here is going to be an 8.5 by 11 layout. I used that patterned paper that's kind of like a map from Pink Fresh. I cut it down to 8.5 by 11. And now in that top third section, I'm going to add another strip of paper that's also from the collection. And I'm going to take a notebook punch and I'm going to add a little bit of detail to the top edge of that strip of paper. That's just going to create that little bit of notebook detail. So the top third of the layout's just going to have that strip of paper that's going to be a base where I can add a bit of embellishing. And then the bottom 2/3 of the layout is going to have the photograph and the title piece and some embellishing. And then of course, a little bit of journaling is going to go on there as well. So now that I've got that strip of paper at the top, I'm ready to do just a little bit of detail up there. So I'm taking a circle punch from my stash. I'm going to go back into that 6x6 pad and I'm going to add another little bit of pattern paper. And I just wanted to go through the pad and take a look at what would complement the rest of the layout without being too bold. And I really love this paper. I think it's really cool. It's got those little location icons on it. And then it's also got a little bit of text there with just some really cool little phrases. So I wanted to add those circles to that strip at the top. This is a really easy way to create your own embellishments. If you really like a collection, but you don't want to buy all of the parts of the collection, or you just buy one die cut pack and a few papers, you can always use your punches to create your own DIY embellishments. And circles are probably the easiest ones that you can create. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use those circles as a strip on top of that other strip. And I'm going to adhere those down to that strip of paper with some foam adhesive just to pop them up a little bit. So now you can see that I was just pointing out I've got a space to the right of the photograph where I know that that's where I'm going to leave a spot for my journaling. So now I just went through the tags that are part of the collection, and I thought, I'm just going to keep this really simple and easy, and I'm going to use that tag over to the right for my journaling area. And then what I decided I'm going to do is just type out my journaling on my computer and print it off and cut it in strips and adhere it to that tag. Now I just want to go through the die cut pack and find a few really simple little embellishments that I can layer onto the layout as well. And you can see here I'm just finding some spots where I can place those other little die cut pieces and embellishments for my layout. I really love using an 8.5 by 11 size for scrapbooking. You can add these into your 12 by 12 albums, I do have an 8.5 by 11 album on the go that I just keep adding to. And since I don't scrapbook chronologically, it doesn't really matter to me. I just add the layouts in wherever and just telling different stories as I go. So now I'm just taking some little wood buttons and I'm going to place those in a few little spots. These are from an older Chamel collection and I just love them. I know Chamel usually includes wooden buttons in her collections and I usually buy those because I feel like they're just a really neat embellishment on a variety of different types of layouts and they just add a really cool little bit of dimension. And I also wanted to pop my my large title piece here onto some foam adhesive as well. So I'm just adding some little foam dots onto the back of that large title piece and it'll just give that a little more dimension. I'm going to add a little more dimension even to that title piece here a little bit later in the video and I'll talk to you about that. I'll tell you about that here as we go along. So I'm just going to get this stuck down kind of below my photograph and then it's also going to go below where the journaling is there as well. And then what I decided to do is I decided to cut the layout down a little bit and back the whole layout onto some patterned paper. So you'll see me doing that in a minute. I just wanted to take my T-square here and make sure that I had that title piece on there straight, both vertically and horizontally. And so I'm just going to measure that up. I do love my T-square. I think I bought this for $3 and it is probably one of my most used tools because I do not have a knack for getting things straight just by using my eyeballs. It is really important for me to use a ruler, especially on a layout that's super linear like this one is. I want to make sure that I have things straight. Now I'm just taking a smaller strip of patterned paper from the collection and I'm just going to stick it underneath that paper that's on the horizontal there. And now you can see that I also added some stitching with my sewing machine through those circles. And you can see how that just made them pop up even more on that foam adhesive that I've applied them with. So I'm going to struggle getting this under there properly, but I finally get it. And next, I think I'm just trying to remember what I'm going to do here. Maybe that's it. Yeah, I'm just going to show you the details that I added. So now you can see that I've just layered this onto a piece of pattern paper that matches up with that strip that's horizontal in the top third. And I'm going to show you here how I layered another cut file on top of the cut file. So here I'm just going to show you, it's really 3D, that title piece now. What I did was I cut the cut file out again and I adhered it to the first layer of the cut file on some foam, with some foam adhesive, popping it up over top of the first layer so that it really becomes 3D. And then that just adds a little bit of extra interest to that title piece, which I really wanted to be the focal point for the layout with that photograph. And I just did some really simple journaling on here just to document this trip that I took out to visit my son at Easter time. Please make sure that you hop over to the Just Nick Digital Cut File Shop. I will leave a link in the description box below. You can also check out the blog post for today, which is my blog post for this layout. And thanks so much for stopping by today, guys. I do have a few still shots here following this layout. Thanks so much, and I'll see you again another time. Bye-bye.